MEPs gather for a motion of censure against the new commission of Jean-Claude Juncker over the so-called LuxLeaks corporate tax avoidance scandal. The spirit of the motion, put by eurosceptics on the right, was against Mr. Juncker, once Prime Minister of Luxembourg, but parliamentary rules demand it apply to the whole commission. Mr. Juncker jumped to their defence.
Laissez tranquille les autres commissaires. Si vous voulez que je parte, dites-le, et je partirai.
He outlined again the steps he would seek to take, a harmonised corporate tax base and exchange of tax data. But for those on the right, it wasn't nearly enough.
Con questa mozione possiamo dare quel forte segnale di cambiamento che serve all'Europa.
Whilst you were the leader of Luxembourg, you permitted 240 multinationals, corporations to enter into aggressive corporate tax avoidance.
Il faut remarquer que vous n'êtes pas le seul responsable. Vous êtes juste le meilleur exemple du monstre qu'est devenue l'Union européenne.
For the Liberals, it was hard to resist the opportunity to take a dig at Parliament's arch eurosceptics, Mrs Le Pen and British MEP Nigel Farage, who earlier resisted any alliance together.
For me, Mr. President, I have to tell you, the only interesting thing about this motion is not the content of this motion, is the fact that finally, I should say, Mr. Farage and Mrs. Le Pen are now finally outing their hidden relationship.
Parliament's centrist majority, right and left, fell square behind Mr. Juncker, but they wanted action.
Meine Fraktion will Steuergerechtigkeit. Wir wollen beenden, dass Großkonzerne sich von ihrer Steuerlast zurückziehen und rausmogeln können. Und wir wollen aber auch, dass wir vorankommen. Und deswegen brauchen wir eine Kommission, die Vorschläge am Tisch legt und Initiativen startet.
Al lavoro per combattere l'elusione e l'evasione fiscale. Le pratiche di quelle multinazionali che eludono ed evadono le tasse con la complicità di troppi governi sono gravissime.
Come the vote, it was much as expected, a thumping rejection of a motion that was going nowhere. The wider issues beyond, however, will go well into Mr. Juncker's presidency, with MEPs pressing the interests and outrage of citizens.
They see multinational corporations not paying the taxes while local business competing with them has to pay. And they see Europe as non-acting on some of the biggest scandals, while we do lots of regulations on things which are much less important.
So, a decisive moment in Mr. Juncker's first months. He survived it easily, but he has plenty to think on too.